The small town of Maplewood woke slowly every morning, wrapped in the soft golden light of the rising sun and the quiet hum of early life beginning its day. People here knew each other by name, greeted one another with warm smiles, and shared stories as easily as the breeze carried the scent of fresh bread from the bakery on Main Street. But not everyone in Maplewood lived an easy life. Among the hard-working townsfolk was a young girl named Emma Carter, a kind-hearted soul who had grown up knowing more about struggle than comfort. Emma worked long hours at a small grocery store near the town square, earning just enough to help her sick mother at home and keep the tiny apartment they lived in. Despite the weight of responsibility on her young shoulders, Emma never let hardship steal the warmth from her heart. Every morning, she walked to work with quiet determination, believing that kindness and patience would one day lead her to a better life. One chilly autumn afternoon, as golden leaves danced along the sidewalk and cars passed lazily down the street, Emma noticed something that made her stop in her tracks. An elderly man stood on the curb at a busy intersection, gripping a wooden cane and looking uncertain as he tried to judge the speeding traffic. His silver hair fluttered slightly in the wind, and his frail posture suggested that crossing the road alone might be difficult for him. Many people walked past him without stopping, too busy with their own lives to notice. But Emma was not one of those people. Without hesitation, she stepped toward him and offered a gentle smile. "Excuse me, sir," she said kindly, "would you like some help crossing the street?" The old man looked at her with surprised eyes, as if he wasn't used to strangers offering help. For a brief moment he hesitated, then nodded gratefully. "That would mean a lot, young lady," he replied in a soft voice. Emma carefully held his arm as the traffic light changed and guided him across the street step by step, making sure he felt safe and steady the entire way. When they reached the other side, the old man let out a small relieved chuckle. "You didn't have to stop for me," he said, studying her face with quiet curiosity. Emma shrugged with a gentle smile. "Everyone needs a little help sometimes," she answered. "Besides, it only takes a moment to be kind." The old man seemed deeply moved by her words. He asked her name, where she worked, and about her family. Emma answered politely but humbly, never once complaining about her struggles. She simply spoke about life the way she always did, with honesty and hope. What Emma didn't know was that the man she had just helped was not an ordinary elderly passerby. His name was Samuel Whitmore, and he was known throughout the county as the wealthiest farmer in the entire region. For decades, Samuel had built a farming empire that stretched across thousands of acres of fertile land. His farms produced crops that fed half the state, and his name was spoken with respect by bankers, politicians, and business owners alike. Yet despite his immense wealth, Samuel was also a lonely man. His children lived far away in big cities, rarely visiting, and most people who approached him did so because they wanted something from him. Over the years, he had grown used to suspicion and distance from others. But Emma's kindness had been different. She didn't know who he was. She didn't expect anything in return. She simply helped because it was the right thing to do. That small act stayed with Samuel long after Emma waved goodbye and hurried off toward her job at the grocery store. Over the next few days, Samuel couldn't stop thinking about the young girl with the kind heart. In a world where many people chased money and power, her simple compassion felt rare and genuine. Curious to learn more, Samuel quietly asked around town about Emma Carter. What he discovered impressed him even more. People spoke about how she worked tirelessly to support her sick mother, how she often helped elderly neighbors carry groceries, and how she never turned away someone in need, even when she barely had enough for herself. 1 week later, Emma arrived at work as usual, unaware that her life was about to change forever. As she stacked fresh fruit on the store shelves, a sleek black pickup truck slowly pulled into the parking lot outside. The store manager straightened his tie nervously when he saw who stepped out of the vehicle. It was Samuel Whitmore himself. The richest farmer in the region rarely visited small shops like this, and when he did, people paid attention. Emma, however, had no idea who he truly was when he walked through the door with a gentle smile. "Hello again," Samuel said warmly. Emma blinked in surprise, then recognized him instantly. "Oh, you're the gentleman from the crosswalk," she said happily. Samuel nodded. "Yes, and I never properly thanked you." Emma waved her hand modestly. "You already did." It was nothing. But Samuel shook his head slowly. "Kindness like yours is never nothing. What happened next would soon become the most talked about story in Maplewood. Samuel had come not only to thank Emma, but to offer her an opportunity she could never have imagined. A chance that would transform her life, her family's future, and even the heart of the old farmer who had almost given up believing in genuine kindness. But before that incredible moment unfolds, remember this: sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can open doors to the biggest miracles. And if you enjoy heartfelt stories like this one that remind us how powerful compassion can be, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another inspiring story. Because the next chapter might just change the way you see the world.